Hi all, Loz D, Punch Out TV. How are you all doing on this Thursday evening? Back with another episode of Crime Watch UK. A bit late. I said I'd get it out last week, but better late than never. Late but still great. We see what Muppets are on the board today. So this is part 2 of Crime Watch UK for February. So I did the last video last week. Let's see what Muppets are on the board today. And we're in the studio today. And let me tell you, a few crimes have happened in this room, but that's another video. So don't take this to heart. This is where we pick apart the Muppets who have committed crimes in boxing for the month. So it's just a bit of banter. That's all it is. We have a laugh. Yeah, some might not like it, some might like it. It's just a laugh. Don't mean anything by it. So, better than that, like I say, better late but still great. Let's get into it. In at number 4, back by popular demand, he was voted very highly. It's none other than the shitbag himself, not my words, Darren Till's words. Tommy Fury, aka Little Tommy TP. Tommy TP's back on the board because he shit out in a fight last month, or was it December? He shit out in a fight anyway to fight Darren Till. We all know Darren Till said he was going to kick him in the head, but it was a laugh. He just said it to sell tickets and put bums on seats. Little Tommy TP took it up on himself to lead Darren Till down the road for 3 weeks. Then him and his old man, Delusional John, aka the turnip head, decided that they were going to conjure up a plan how to shit out of this fight. So they used the excuse of Darren Till repeatedly keep saying that he was going to kick him in the head when he didn't. He only said it once, as we all know. So Little Tommy TP was back on the board last week for the first time in a while. But he's back on the board this time because Darren Till had his fight, beat that guy, whoever he was, and then called him out again. And I've seen at least 3 interviews with Darren Till where he's repeatedly called Little Tommy TP a shitbag, calling him out. He wants to fight him. And Little Tommy TP don't want that scouse smoke. You don't want that smoke, do you, La? You don't want that smoke. So Little Tommy TP, then I saw an interview with Little Tommy TP saying, talking about how bad 2024 was for him, picking up an injury, and was it a shoulder injury, and him and Molly May splitting up and all this shit, and he couldn't fight, and he wanted to please his fans, and he's a professional boxer. Number one, I don't care about your social life. I don't care about Molly May. Who cares? I don't. All we care about is you getting in the ring because you say you're a so-called fighter. You're a professional boxer, but you're not a professional boxer. You, like I said before, you're just a man who can let his hands go. You decide that you want to beat up on easy opponents, and when you knew that Darren Till was an ex-MMA fighter and he was going to stick it to you, your arse fell out. Darren Till handed your arse to you on a plate. So Little Tommy TP, aka the shitbag, he's in at number 4 for being the biggest tart of the month and still swerving Darren Till like the plague. So Little Tommy TP, you're not a boxer, all right? All right. Now go sit your spotty little arse down somewhere. Right. He's back again. He's back again. The biggest con man one of the biggest con men in the sport of boxing. None other than the big dunce himself, Tyson the Dosser Fury. Big Dumbo's in at number 3 for years and years of swerving Usyk, saying he's got the best IQ in boxing and no one will ever beat him. And according to his, like I say, he's deluded turnip head of a father. But the Big Dumbo's back in at number 3 this month for not being able to take a loss to Alexander Usyk, then crying about it. That's why he was on the board last week. But then left it a week or two, then comes out, says he's retiring. But don't forget, Dick Turnip wore a mask. So we all know you're full of shit. You're a liar, a compulsive liar. You're just a greedy bastard. And you're not as good as what you say you are. Now, this isn't hate at him. These are all just facts. You tried the same bullshit with Usyk where you said you retired after the Dillian White fight and then you wanted X amount of money. Was it 60, 40 or something? I can't even remember. You've done that much shit. But the Big Dumbo's in at number 3 this month for coming out a few weeks later after he says he's retired. That's it. He's never fighting again. The Big Dosser comes out and says he wants £500 million for fight AJ. Now, if you're retiring, why do you want all that much money? I'll tell you why. Because you're a greedy bastard. You've got no intentions of fighting Anthony Joshua. You'll swerve him like you swerved Usyk for years and years, hoping to age him out. You're just a greedy bastard. And people have just had enough of your shenanigans, your lies, all your bullshit. You just blow hot air. That's all you do. You just yap all the time. So the Big Dumbo's in at number 3 for saying he's retired and then coming out and saying he wants £500 million to fight AJ. But good old Turkey, aka the Turbinator, told you where go sticky. He told you get on your bike and fuck off, get gone. So the Big Dosser's in at number 3 for coming out and saying he's retired and then wanting £500 million with no intentions at all of fighting Anthony Joshua. Right, who else have we got on the board? Oh my God. Not another con man. Another con man. This guy's in the top 5 con men boxers in the world. None other than Christopher Eubanks. Now, Christopher Eubanks is in at number 2 for moaning like hell about Conor Benn being a peds cheat, saying that he was trying to kill him and all stuff like this. He was juicing up and blah, blah, blah. Saying, you know, I don't want to fight people like this who are using PEDs. Fast forward 3 years down the line, Christopher Eubanks then decides that he's going to fight Conor Benn. He's going to fight him. Now, this guy's career for me has just been a cartoon all the way through. The kid's got the skills and all he wants to do is fight bums for high money. He's ducked all top opposition, and when he has fought someone with a bit of stellar behind him, aka Billy Joe Saunders, I think he fought George Groves, he comes unstuck. Chris Eubanks' best to date fight is a washed up James DeGale or a washed up Arthur Abrahams. Now Chris Eubanks then starts crying about rehydration clause and going on Twitter saying, see, he's at it again. Now, Christopher, let me ask you something. If you were that concerned about rehydration clause and fighting a peds cheat, why are you fighting him? Why are you fighting him in the first place? I'll tell you why. Because all you've wanted to do all your career is duck stellar opposition. That's all. All you wanted to do is fight bums for high money. That's the reason why you're fighting Conor Benn. It's never been about legacy. It's never been about titles. It's never been about anything but money. Now, you've always claimed that you were chasing Canelo, Golovkin, the Charlo brothers. What happened? Nothing. Nothing at all. Demetrius Andre and all fighters like that. Nothing. You're just a con man. That's all you are. You're just a con man. You're nothing like your father. You'll never be anything like your father. You're just a scrap dealer. You just love ripping people off, or one of them garages where you take your car in for have a new tyre on, and next thing you know, you're having a fucking old new engine put in your car. You're just a con man. That's all you'll ever be, a gimmick of your father. You're nothing like your father. So this clown, this absolute clown, Christopher Eubanks, is in at number 2 for crying about rehydration clause, crying about Conor Benn being a ped cheat, but still he goes ahead and fights him. So you go and sit your arse down, because you've been dealt with. This is a killer. In at number 1, none other than Cadbury's cream egg himself, Conor the Hen, or should I say Conor Benn. Lay a little egg for me, chick. Right, this con man, this absolute fucking clown of a guy, the man with the stinkiest attitude in boxing, makes out he's a killer. He can knock everyone out. He's coming for Boots Ennis. He's coming for Terence Crawford. He's coming, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. Eddie Hills signs Boots Ennis. Goes quiet. Anyway, this guy is a drugs cheat, as we all know. Gets banned over here for fighting. Makes out he's got a 270 odd page dossier, and he's spent millions and millions on proving he's innocent. He can't get a fight in the UK, so he goes out in Vegas in some sports hall at some high school and fights a Mexican with a bad hairdo, hits him with everything but the kitchen sink, don't put a dent in him. Then he goes and fights Pistola Pete and gets absolutely pieced up towards the end of the fight. It's Pistola Pete with everything, ends up getting pistol whipped off Pistola Pete. But he just scraped through a win with Pistola Pete. Anyway, goes quiet, goes underground. Next thing, starts chomping his gums again on Twitter. Everyone can have it. I don't care who you are, everyone's going to have it. I'm a 2-weight champion and all this bullshit. Then, somehow, by the magic of God, Turkey somehow, Eddie Hills has a word with Turkey. Next thing you know, the fight's made. I believe Turkey's paid off the British Boxing Board of Control, as this fight is sanctioned in the UK at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on the 22nd of April. This bellend goes and does Instagram Live saying it's not about money, it's about legacy, and it's about bragging rights. Yet, before Eddie Hill ever even mentioned of fighting Christopher Eubanks, there was no beef. No beef. Then all of a sudden, there's raw corned beef between these two. Absolute BS. There's no beef between them. It's all made up like WWE shit. Conor Benn never used to even mention Christopher Eubanks until this fight was first sanctioned, before he popped twice for clomiphene. The little con man, the little Cadbury's cream egg, said he didn't eat eggs on the Piers Morgan show when Piers Morgan interviewed him, and the WBC gave him a pass, said it could be contaminated eggs. And then he realised a few weeks later what he had said, and then he changed it that it could be eggs. But anyway, the biggest con man, the biggest arsewipe, the biggest panty sniffer, the man with the fucking stinking attitude, the silver spoon camera whore, he's been everywhere, all over social media. He must have done over 200, interviews this month. Excuse me. Then he does an interview with dazzling Darren Barker the other day with his fake tears, crying, saying that he had spent millions on proving his innocence. Yet you haven't proved anything. There's no scientific proof. There's no 270-page dossier. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Then he's saying about rehydration clause, he's moving up 2 weights. Yet his last 2 fights were at 154. So you're only moving up to 160. So you're moving up 1 weight, not 2, 1 weight. You've been fighting at 154 for the last couple of years. You haven't fought at 147, which is welterweight, for what, 2.5, 3 years. So I hope you Wanks knocks him out, because I can't stand this guy. He's a fraud. He's nothing like his dad. He's never won a belt. How this guy even was just about get lined up for a world title shot is beggars belief. He's dodged stellar opposition over here. Florian Marcoux, McKitson, Josh Taylor. Not Josh Taylor. Josh... what was his name? Josh Kelly. He's ducked loads of people. And then he goes on social media crying about how he spent millions and millions of pounds and couldn't hardly put food on the table. What a load of bullshit. Like you've ever been poor, mate. You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You always have been. You're just a spoiled little brat. That's all you are. So, Conor Hen, a.k.a. the Cadbury's Cream Egg, he's in at number 1 for being the biggest camera whore, the thirstiest whore on social media, absolute waffling on about he's going to do this and do that, and he's moving up 2 weights when he's only moving up 1 weight. So they're the 4 bell ends of the month, from 8 to 1. This is from 4 to 1. Conan was picked the highest, so this wanker is in at number 1. These 4 muppets on the board have committed the atrocities, the crimes in boxing for this month. So they've been picked apart. I hope you enjoyed it. And as my brother once said, tell him, Nick, tell him. Peace out.
In the meantime, don't have nightmares. Do please sleep well. Good night.
Good night.